Ever wondered about bodies that defy time, remaining perfectly preserved for decades, even centuries? Is it a miracle or a scientifically explainable phenomenon? Imagine this: a human body that by all natural laws should have turned to dust long ago, lies before you, seemingly untouched by time. This isn't a scene from a sci-fi movie, but a reality humanity has encountered for ages. The phenomenon of incorruptible relics is one of the most mysterious and intriguing, challenging our understanding of life and death. Since ancient times, people have discovered bodies seemingly immune to decay. Different cultures and religions interpreted these cases differently. Signs of holiness, divine intervention, curses, or simply inexplicable miracles. In Christianity, for example, incorruptible saints were seen as proof of divine grace, becoming objects of worship and pilgrimage. In Buddhism, some mummified lamas are revered as evidence of spiritual achievement. But what's really behind this? Is it a miracle beyond comprehension? Or does nature have undiscovered mechanisms that slow or stop decomposition? These are the questions that intrigue both ordinary people searching for answers and scientists seeking rational explanations. We'll explore the natural and scientific factors that can lead to this amazing state, and examine the line between faith and objective knowledge. Did you know what happens to a body just hours after death? Once the heart stops, the body starts its inevitable journey to decomposition. It's a complex biological process that starts immediately. Within hours, the body cools, algor mortis, blood pools, livor mortis, and muscles stiffen, rigor mortis. These are just the visible changes. The main transformations happen inside. Deprived of oxygen and nutrients, cells self-destruct through a process called autolysis. Billions of bacteria in our gut become active. After death, the immune system can't restrain them, and they multiply, spreading from the intestines to other organs and tissues. These bacteria drive decomposition, kicking off putrefaction. They break down organic compounds, releasing gases that cause bloating and that distinct smell. The speed of decay depends on temperature, humidity, oxygen, and even insects. It's much faster in warm, humid environments than in cold or dry ones. Understanding this normal path is key to appreciating the uniqueness of incorruptibility, which bypasses these basic natural laws. You won't believe how nature can turn an ordinary body into an incorruptible phenomenon using its own unique preservatives. We know how bodies decompose, but nature sometimes acts as a preserver, creating unique conditions for natural mummification that slow or stop this process. Cold is key. Freezing temperatures completely block bacteria and enzymes. Bodies can be preserved for millennia in permafrost or glaciers, like Ötzi, the Iceman. Dryness is another preserver. In arid conditions, deserts, ventilated crypts, the body dehydrates quickly. Without moisture, bacteria can't function and tissues dry out, preventing decay. Desert mummies are proof of this. Bogs, especially peat bogs, are unique. Their environment is high in acidity, low in oxygen, and cold. Peat moss releases antibacterial substances. In these conditions, soft tissues tan, becoming leathery and dark. The bog bodies of Northern Europe are remarkably well preserved. Finally, there's saponification or adipocere formation. It happens when a body is in a moist, oxygen-free environment, clay soil, underwater. Body fats turn into a waxy substance that acts as a protective shell, slowing decomposition and preserving the shape. These mechanisms turn an ordinary body into an incorruptible one. Picture this. In a medieval cathedral, thousands of pilgrims stand in awe before a glass sarcophagus. Inside lies a body that should have decayed centuries ago, but it remains untouched, as if asleep. Throughout the ages, humanity has encountered incorruptible bodies, and many cultures and religions see this not as chance, but as a sign of something higher. Incorruptible relics hold a special place in history, becoming powerful symbols of faith, hope, and even miracles. In Christianity, especially Catholicism and Orthodoxy, the incorruptibility of saints' bodies is seen as proof of their holiness and divine grace. These incorruptible relics become centers of pilgrimage, sources of healing and inspiration. Examples include Saint Bernadette Soubirous of Lourdes, whose body remains remarkably preserved decades after death, or Saint Catherine Labouré, who saw the Virgin Mary. Believers see this as a divine miracle, confirming the divine intervention and purity of the deceased soul. But Christianity isn't alone. In Buddhism, there's the practice of sokushimbutsu, self-mummification, where monks gradually prepared their bodies during their lifetime to resist decay, considered the ultimate act of asceticism and enlightenment. These mummies are also revered as holy relics. Regardless of scientific explanations, such cases have always deeply impacted people, shaping cultural traditions, temple architecture, and even political decisions. They've been powerful tools for strengthening faith and attracting followers, becoming an integral part of humanity's religious history. A symbol of overcoming mortality. For every miracle of incorruptibility that has amazed for centuries, modern science finds up to 90% rational explanations, revealing amazing biochemical processes, not just mysticism. After centuries of awe and mysticism, modern science offers its explanations for incorruptible relics. Surprisingly, most of these miracles fit into natural processes we've already explored. Scientists, especially forensic anthropologists and pathologists, approach these cases rationally, seeking the reasons why a body didn't decompose. Burial conditions are key. If a body is in a dry, cold environment, like a high-altitude cave, desert, or airtight crypt with good ventilation, decomposition slows or stops naturally. Lack of moisture and low temperatures deprive bacteria and enzymes of the necessary environment to function. It's like storing food in a refrigerator or dehydrating it. The same principle. In some cases, saponification occurs. This happens when a body is in a moist, oxygen-deprived environment, like clay soil or underwater. Body fats turn into a dense, waxy substance that acts as a natural preservative, protecting internal organs from further decay. This explains the remarkable preservation of some bodies found in bogs or at the bottom of bodies of water. The chemical composition of the soil or coffin materials also matters. For example, metal salts can inhibit bacterial growth. In some cases, primitive embalming methods, now forgotten or undocumented, may have been used, helping preserve the body. Science doesn't deny the uniqueness of these cases, but offers logical explanations without resorting to the supernatural. So, is it a miracle or a quirk of nature? The phenomenon of incorruptibility continues to stir debate, forcing us to seek answers on the border of faith and fact. We've journeyed from ancient legends to modern scientific explanations, trying to unravel the phenomenon of incorruptible relics. Where's the line between faith and fact, between miracle and rational knowledge? Science offers compelling explanations for most cases of incorruptibility. Unique environmental conditions, extreme cold, arid climate, anaerobic bog environments, or specific soil chemistry can slow or stop natural decomposition. From mummies found in glaciers to bodies turned into adipocere, each case has its physical and chemical basis. From this perspective, incorruptibility isn't a violation of natural laws, but a rare manifestation of them in special circumstances. However, for millions worldwide, incorruptible relics aren't just objects of scientific study, but deeply personal and spiritual experiences. For believers, they're a sign of holiness, a confirmation of divine presence, and inspiration for their own faith. They see it not as chance, but as a deliberate miracle beyond human comprehension. Ultimately, the phenomenon of incorruptible relics continues to fascinate precisely because it lies at the intersection of these two worlds, the world of empirical facts and the world of deep spiritual beliefs. Science explains how it happens, and faith answers why it matters. Perhaps the true value of this amazing phenomenon lies in this dialogue, in trying to understand and embrace both perspectives, forcing us to consider the limits of our knowledge and the infinity of the human spirit. We hope our journey into the world of incorruptible relics has helped you see this phenomenon in a new light. If you enjoy unraveling mysteries at the intersection of science and the unexplained, subscribe to Mysteries of the Spirit and like this video to stay tuned for more fascinating investigations.